Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big Nick Energy YouTube channel. Mill here with another post-game show, and this one was a complete domination. The Knicks won against the Toronto Raptors 145 to 101. I mean, we always dominate against the Raptors. We're 4-0 against them on the season now. They haven't got one on us this entire season. We literally beat them every time. And tonight was just another example of us winning against them, but it was a domination. We dominated them, putting up nearly 150 points against them. I mean, that's just insane. I believe this is the most amount of points we've put up against a team in this season. I honestly really wanted us to hit 150 just because that's a crazy accomplishment right there to put up 150 points, but we got pretty close to it. And I did want to hold them to under 100. They got 101. It's all right. As long as we got the win, that's what matters. I mean, this basketball game, even though we pretty much blew them out from the get-go, from the beginning, it was still entertaining to watch because this Knicks team was shooting lights out tonight. I mean, we were shooting 50% from the three-point line. We made 22 three-pointers. I know that it was not a competitive game at all, and they never caught up to us, but I really enjoyed watching this Knicks team just shoot lights out, and everyone had the hot hand tonight. I mean, between McBride, Dante, even Boyan, they all were feeling it, and I love to see that as a Knicks fan. I love to see it. Even though we're versing an undermanned Raptors team who was missing quite a lot of people between RJ and Quickly and Scotty Barnes. Yeah, they were missing a lot of people, but still, we pretty much dominated them. And, you know, especially from the three-point line, I think that's pretty much one of the keys to winning this game tonight was how well we shot from there. And it really, it really heals my soul to watch the Knicks shoot so well from the three-point line because, last year we weren't the best three-point shooting team, and especially not in the playoffs. We shot historically bad from the three-point line. So to now watch them just shoot astronomically great numbers, I love to see it. I really, really love to see it in that first half alone. I mean, they were shooting 50% as well, and I believe they had like 12 three-pointers or over 10. It was just insane to watch, and Deuce McBride has been amazing to watch lately. I said it before, he's going on a little bit of a Linsanity run right now. Between the Golden State game where he had, I think, 26, and then tonight, which is his season high, he had 29 points, nearly 30, and he had 9 three-pointers. Insane. I mean, Deuce, whatever he's been doing, whatever how he's been practicing his threes, he should just keep it up because I have not expected what we're seeing from McBride at all. The three-point shooting is probably the least thing I've expected this season for him to come out here and start shooting like Steph Curry. No, I did not expect that at all. I mean, he was our backup point guard, but when we still had Quickly, he was our backup. So he was a third string point guard for us, and he comes out here and he's just shooting lights out, literally shooting over 50% from the three-point line. He was 9 for 14 tonight, and he's literally shooting like prime Steph Curry out there, just hitting them one after the other. You love to see it, but not only is he shooting from the three-point line, he's hitting it from the field as well, 10 for 17 from the field. He has a really nice mid-range game now. I saw him take a lot of long mid-range shots, and we know he can get to the basket if he wants to. It's just amazing to see the growth of him as a player. And it's something I didn't expect. I'm going to be honest. I did not expect that at all. But I'm embracing it now, and I'm hoping that he can continue to flourish on this nice stretch he's on right now, having, 29 points tonight. He had 26 the other day. I really hope he can continue this. And going into the playoffs especially, that'll be great confidence for him to continue and show up in the playoffs this playoff year because, we know the story last season. A lot of guys didn't show up, so we need guys to show up this time. A salute to Kareem. He said, salute Lil Sis, G League McBride has arrived. You're completely right. I mean, I've seen a lot of people saying that he put these numbers up in the G League, but you can't always count on people to perform as well as they did in the G League in the actual NBA. I mean, we saw Jacob Toppin putting up like 40 points in the G League earlier this season. That's why we kept saying, give him a chance, play Jacob Toppin. And when he did finally play like 10 minutes a game, he didn't really do much. But Deuce McBride, on the other hand, has been the complete opposite. I mean, all his hard work has pretty much been playing off. Now that he finally has a chance and he's getting the minutes, he's letting it fly. You can tell he worked on his shot this offseason because it looks really nice. His shot looks so pure. It looks really, really good. I mean, he just looks like a pure shooter out there. I didn't expect that, and for a while, ever since he was a Knick, I always thought his shot was not the best, and he had a little bit of a broke shot, not really consistent at all. But he's really proved a lot of people wrong in saying that he can't have a consistent bucket. He can't have a consistent shot. What we're seeing from him recently is that he can. He actually can. So shout out Deuce McBride, who's really been stepping it up lately. I mean, him stepping up is getting us these wins. So, and I didn't even get to say it yet, but yeah, the Knicks are the 3rd seed. That is going to be the title of this video, is that this live stream. The Knicks have taken over the 3rd seed. Bye-bye to the Cavs, who were the 3rd seed. Now they're down to 4th because they actually lost to the Hornets tonight, and we won, so we're up top now. I love to see it. I mean, the Cavs are just so unserious. They're so unserious. How are you losing to the Hornets? I don't get it. I really don't. I always thought they were a fake 3rd seed, so I'm really glad we have the title now. We're not fake. This team is very far from fake. We're probably the realest team in the NBA right now. I mean, just look at how many things we've had to deal with this season, the injuries, I mean, the trades, and look how we've come up on top, and we have taken over the 3rd seed. We've taken over it from the Cavs. We're ahead of just all these teams when we've been through probably the most this season. I really got to give props to this Knicks team. And I got to give props to Jalen Brunson, who's been leading the pack, and for all the other guys who have been stepping up to help him, because, it can't always be a one-man show. It can't be him always putting up 40. Some nights it's going to be the other guys like Dante, who just had a 40-point game. Then it's going to be Deuce tonight, who had nearly 30 points. I mean, really shout out this entire team for playing together and accomplishing this goal of getting the 3rd seed. 2nd seed is up next. I definitely think we could accomplish that as well. I mean, there's only 10 games left in the season, so it's going to be tough. But I have so much confidence in this Knicks team. And we have Mitchell Robinson back. This was Mitchell Robinson's first game back in a very, very long time. I believe he was out for 50 games. So he was back tonight. Let's see, how many minutes did he play? He didn't play too many minutes tonight. It's his first game back. So he played 12 minutes. Not too bad. Honestly, I'm really happy with what we saw from him. He had 8 points. He had 2 blocks, 2 rebounds. And 8 points is more than what he was averaging on the season. He was averaging 6 points per game in the games that he played this season before he got hurt. So to come out here, your first game back, and grab 8 points along with 2 blocks, I mean, that is just great right there. He's already going above and beyond. I'm really proud of Mitch for coming back this early on. I honestly thought he wouldn't be back this season. I thought we might see him in the playoffs, but he definitely has progressed really well. I mean, obviously better than Julius Randle and OG. So he's back, and he looked really good out there. Honestly, getting 2 blocks, I mean, come on. In 12 minutes, he's going to turn back to his same old self in no time, and he's going to be grabbing 5 blocks and like 10 offensive boards. Just give it some time, honestly. Let's take a look at some comments over here. Knicks Galaxy, salute to you. Thank you for tuning in. They said, let's go Knicks. Of course. Kareem says, so at this point, is Deuce a PG or shooting guard? Honestly, Kareem, I always thought he was more of a shooting guard. To me, he can't really facilitate the offense that well as a point guard. To me, I mean, look at how many points he's putting up and how many threes he's taking on the wing. I think he's more of a shooting guard. He should be on that wing, taking those threes, and he should be taking the shots. He shouldn't be the one passing of the ball. Personally, I think he should be more of a shooting guard. Chariot Man Gaming said, "We got the third seed. Great, go Knicks. Let's go for the second seed." I agree with you. I really think we could do it. I mean, I know I said there's only 10 games left. It doesn't give us a lot of time or room, and not a lot of room to mess up or lose games. But there's still a chance. There's still a chance. Just got to count on the Bucks losing some games. The Deuce is loose. The Deuce has been loose. I mean, what we're seeing from him has been so unexpected, but I feel like everything we've been seeing from every single Knick player this season has been unexpected as well. Like it's not just him; it's pretty much every Knick. I mean, when Precious first came here, and he had that really good stretch of basketball. He was stepping up. He was starting, playing 40 minutes a night. That was unexpected. To expect that Precious Achiuwa, coming from that trade, was going to be doing what he was doing for us at that time, and what Dante's doing to me was also a little bit unexpected. I mean, we expected him to bring the 3-point shooting, to hit a couple threes a night, but he just hit 11 3-pointers the last game. So no, we didn't really expect him to do all of that, to be breaking records, and to be just an amazing shooting guard in our starting lineup, putting up 40 points in a game. I think a lot of Knicks this season have been going above and beyond and really outshining our expectations, and I love it. I'm all for it. I'm all for these Knicks proving people wrong, especially Deuce, who a lot of people who that haven't given him a chance, he's proving them wrong. He's proving that he can actually make it in this league. He went from being a third string point guard to, now one of the best 3-point shooters on this team, probably behind DiVincenzo. He had 9 tonight. I honestly thought he was going to try to break DiVincenzo's record for a second. He could have. He really could have. I think he hit the 9th one with like about 4 minutes to go in the 4th. But then he went out, and yeah, that was that. Kareem said, "Damn it, Grimes, this could have been you. I'm proud of McBride." It really could have. I had so much hope in Grimes for this season. Obviously, before the season started, right before, I really thought that Grimes would be what McBride is doing now, or DiVincenzo. I thought he would be either of those guys, and he wasn't. He was far from it too. I mean, we all saw that really bad stretch that Grimes went through where he was demoted from the starting lineup. He got benched, and Devo took his spot. So, sorry, Grimes. It's next man up. If you're not going to be able to fit the role, and if you're under the light, if you can't face the bright lights, next man up. Deuce is showing that he can be the next man up, and that, he's really showing that he should have been given the minutes all this time. But I'm glad we're seeing it now, because I don't want Tibbs to ever take away his minutes again. I believe he deserves a spot in the playoff rotation after what we've been seeing. What's up, Eddie? Shout out to you and the BKE family. Yep, shout out to you as well, Eddie, and the Knicks Morning Brew. They do some great stuff over there. If you haven't checked out their YouTube, go check it out. Kareem said, "I believe Randle won't be back until the second round playoffs." Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Randle's injury, mainly that he's been pushing to come back with his medical team and all of that, but they just haven't cleared him yet. They haven't cleared him to come back. It sucks to hear that, especially because we really need Randle. We do. I know we've been winning a lot of games. I believe we're 8-2 in the last 10, and obviously we just grabbed the 3rd seed, but we still need Randle, and we need him really badly in the playoffs. I know we look like a great team right now, but he's our second biggest weapon on this team. Before he went down, he's providing us 24 points per game and nearly 10 boards. So that's something that could really be helpful for us in the playoffs. A lot of guys have been stepping up recently, especially Devo, Deuce, Hart, but we have to count on our bigger weapons to play well in the playoffs and to actually produce. Because just look at what happened last year. Quickly, who was a great regular season player, didn't really show up in the playoffs, specifically the Heat series. I know he got hurt, but Grimes, who was decent in the regular season as well, didn't show up. And Josh Hart shot really, really, really bad from the three-point line at the Heat series as well, like 30%. But still, a lot of role players tend to go missing in the playoffs. That's why you need your bigger weapons. We need Julius Randle back healthy, because an unhealthy Julius Randle on the court is not something I want to see. I won't have a lot of confidence in that. So we really just have to be patient right now. We have to be patient and wait for him to be cleared, because again, we do not want unhealthy Julius Randle on that court playing in the playoffs with us. AP said, great win. It really was. I mean, we put up nearly 150 points. We put up 145, but we dominated the Raptors all night, and we've dominated them this entire season. I mentioned it before. We're 4-0 against them this season. Raptors are pretty much just food to us at this point. Teresa said, go New York, go New York, go. Yep. Go New York. Play the song. I know Orlando Magic say that all the time after they win, but I should be playing the Go New York song too. It's a great song. A little old, but you know, it's still great. Johnny Davis said Mitch did say he wants to show some other things that he can do. Yeah, I remember seeing that comment of his on Instagram saying that he would come off the bench because he believes he could show more when he comes off the bench. And we honestly saw a little bit of that tonight. I mean, 8 points is a little bit unexpected from Mitch, especially his first game back. He averages 6 on the season in the games that he played before he went down. So he came out here and scored above his average with 8. And I'm expecting more, honestly, because he said it himself. He wants to show some other things that he can do. Knicks Nation, let's go Knicks. Second seed, here we come. Exactly. We just claimed the 3rd seed, but we're right off and we're ready to work and get that 2nd seed. We're going to work for it. I mean, it's crazy to me. It really blows my mind to think that this team, with all the injuries we've been through, that we are the 3rd seed. And just imagine what a healthy Knicks team with a team with Julius Randle and OG Anunoby looks like from this is, you know, the entire season. I can just imagine that we would have been the 2nd seed, and we would have solidified that seed like for a very long time now. But you know, we just got the 3rd. We're trying to get the 2nd. A healthy Knicks team, I don't think they would have been able to get the 1st, just because Boston has that on lock. They pretty much locked down that 1st seed from the get-go, from the start of the season. But I do think we could still give them a run for their money in the playoffs. Someone said, Deuce kept it professional unlike the others. He deserves everything he's getting. Seriously. Can't emphasize this comment enough. I mean, Deuce, like I mentioned before, he went from the 3rd string point guard to now our backup and now one of the best shooters on this team, who is going to continue to play and receive a lot of minutes. He's a Tibbs guy now, and, you know, and he always kept it professional. A lot of guys complained before when they didn't get minutes, when they didn't get a big role, but we never heard a peep out of Deuce. So I really respect him for that. And now that he gets his time, now that he gets to shine, he's just doing that. He's humble. We're the only team who can knock off the damn Boston Celtics. That's what I'm saying. I really think that a healthy Knicks team can knock them off, or at least compete in a good series with them. I think that we're really the only ones that can actually compete with them, because they have not seen us healthy. They have not seen us with OG Anunoby, with with everyone together as one whole. I mean, we haven't had Julius Randle in a while. We haven't had OG. They haven't even. It's so hard to say, because they haven't faced our team with all the new additions that we had between Precious, Bogdanovich, Alec Burks, and OG. There's so many new additions that we have that they haven't faced yet with all of them together. So we really just have to wait and see if it happens. Let's read some more comments over here. Monarch Smart TV said, Tibbs got everyone playing up to their potential coach of the year. Yeah, they mentioned it during the broadcast that he should be up for coach of the year. Honestly, with the way our season has been going, and that we've now finally achieved the 3rd seed, he should be up for Coach of the Year because we've been through a lot. And it's funny because when we first got the news about Mitchell Robinson's injury, that he was going to be out for the entire season, I'll speak for myself that I thought this season was going to be over, but just for a split second, I thought it was going to be really tough losing our starting center, who was our defensive anchor, who protected the paint every night, who was leading the league in offensive boards and rebounds. I mean, not leading the league in rebounds, but somewhere up there in the ranks, he was leading in offensive boards. Just, he was the face of our defense, and I thought losing him pretty much was going to impact our season a lot. And look where we are now. It wasn't a season-ending injury. He's back with 10 games to go in the season, and we're the third seed. So this team has overcome a lot, and it is thanks to Coach Thibodeau, who has pretty much been the one to say next man up. Ever since Mitchell Robinson went down, it was next man up. It was Isaiah Hartenstein. It was next man up when Grimes was going through a rough stretch and he wasn't producing. So it was Devo in that starting lineup, and it's been next man up ever since that. They made the trades. They made the right trades to get OG, to get Precious. And Tibbs has pretty much just been doing his thing. We've seen him get Coach of the Year before. And, he definitely should be in the running this year as well. Randle will make the Knicks extremely dangerous. He will. A lot of people forget, since he's been out for quite a while now, how dangerous he is, how much of a bully he is out there on that court. He's honestly one of the most aggressive players out there in the league. I'll say in the league. He pretty much bullies everyone. That thumbs up. Let's go Knicks. Yeah, if everyone can hit that thumbs up button, greatly appreciate it. I believe it gets the video out to more people, the live stream. So hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Let's see. Let's read some more comments over here. Kareem said, the bright side is that with all the injuries, we wouldn't have known what we had from the bench. That's a really good way to look at it, Kareem. I wouldn't have even pointed that out, but that's a really good way to look at it because we've had a lot of players shine. We've had a lot of players do the unexpected, and most of it is because of injuries. So you're completely right. You're definitely right. And talk about the trade too. We traded IQ, and a lot of people were hurt about it. I was hurt about it. I thought trading him was a mistake, but look at what we've gotten from McBride recently and lately. He's just been amazing, putting up 29 tonight with 9 3-pointers. I don't think he wouldn't have had this game if we still had Quickly. So things happen for a reason. Injuries, trades, they have definitely shined the light on a lot of players we wouldn't have expected to do the things that they're doing. Smart TV said, we were the third seed before the injury. Now we back there again is impressive. Yeah, I remember, I think it was literally after that month of January where we had played amazing, unbelievable. I believe we were either 14-2, 13-2, something like that. And I believe after that month, we were the third seed for like one game. It was very short-lived. It was very, very short-lived. We didn't get to enjoy it, but now we're back there. We're back there after dealing with all the injuries. And hopefully this time it's not short-lived. We got to keep winning games. And I want to stay here. I want to stay here because I don't think the Cavs are a serious team. I believe they were a fake third seed. So let's own this seed, but then let's also strive to get the second one. Dead on Arrival said, Grimes was soft. Deuce is king. I really appreciate Grimes for what he did for us last season. I think he was really, really solid. Defensively and offensively, he was pretty solid during the regular season. But he was really inconsistent, and he wasn't providing what we thought he could. I mean, during the offseason, we thought this kid was going to become one of the best shooters on the team and the three-point shooter we needed on this team. He was working out with JJ Redick during the summer. When I saw pictures of that, I said, okay, he's going to have a really nice jumper. I mean, he's going to have a really nice shot now. He's going to let it fly every time he gets the ball. that was not the case. He looked so hesitant this season starting off. He went through rough patches of shooting, 3-point shooting. So he pretty much just let us down. And ultimately, it got him to the bench. He was removed from the starting role, and it got him traded. But Deuce is king. I agree with you. Smart TV said Boston hasn't seen this kind of Deuce. I don't think, besides the teams that we've recently been playing and who he's been scoring on, Golden State, who he had that big game on, and then tonight the Raptors, not a lot of teams besides them have seen this type of Deuce. It's insane. I mean, if he can really perfect his offensive game, I know it's only been like a few games we've been seeing him score this much points. I would say he had 26, then he had like an 11-point game, 29. So if he can try to perfect it where it can be at least consistent, like 15 a night, I would say he's a really dangerous player, because a very dangerous two-way player. We know he's a really good defensive player, a pest out there. So yeah, he could become a really great two-way player if he's able to perfect his offense and make it consistent. Not like how Grimes was the very, very inconsistent player that he was. King Ratio said, also, no offense, but the Knicks have played a lot of bad teams lately who have rested versus them. Let's see if they can handle OKC before we get too excited. Well, I mean, beating bad teams doesn't, it shouldn't be something looked down upon. Just means you're taking care of business. And, you shouldn't look down upon that. That's how the schedule is. I know the Raptors weren't the best tonight. Obviously, they're not a good team. And they were down. They were really shorthanded tonight without a lot of guys. Scotty Barnes, RJ, Quickly, and more. But still, every night any NBA team has a chance to win. Doesn't matter if you're 10th in your conference. Doesn't matter if you're first. Any matchup can be a real matchup. We just tonight we saw the Hornets beat the Cavs. So it's like, I know these are some bad teams we're facing, but we're still getting the wins. And our players are performing. I'm not going to undermine that. But you're right. We got to ramp up. We got to watch out for OKC. That's going to be a real test right there. It's going to be a tough one. Royal said, I miss Randle. You and me both. I definitely miss Randle a lot of nights, especially games where we lose and we're just out-talented. Games like that, I really wish we had our second best weapon on the team. Randle, who was a guy that muscles his way through everybody. He'll basically body anyone on the opposing team, and I definitely miss that some nights. So hopefully we can get him back for the playoffs. It's looking like we only got 10 games left, so if he makes a push for it, he could possibly play before the season ends. But it's looking unlikely, honestly, and I don't want him to push it. I would rather, because if he ends up pushing it too hard and comes rushing it, I just don't want to see him re-injure himself with him not being up there as his medical team wants him to be. And I would prefer that we get him as healthy as possible, even if that's just 80% for the playoffs. I would want that. Johnny Davis said, it's going to be crazy if we can hoist that trophy. Could you imagine Dolan getting a ship? That would be envy of the NBA. Go Knicks. It'll be crazy. If, I can't even think about that yet. It's just, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but that would be insane, truly. Let's see. Smart TV said, I do miss Randle bully ball. That's why I need him to be healthy. Exactly. As I was just saying, we really need him back, especially for the playoffs, because, I saw someone mention this before. I think it was on Player's Choice. If you guys know that YouTube channel. They were pretty much saying that, the Knicks can only go as far as Julius Randle will take them in the playoffs. And I sort of agree with that in a way that, Jalen Brunson can do his thing and be insane. He could go, and have a 40-point game in the playoffs, but we really need Julius Randle to take it further and to help us get deeper in the playoffs because, pretty much what I was just saying, we can see Brunson go off, but how far can it really take us? Because last season, Brunson was going off. I mean, in that Miami Heat series, he was averaging above 30 points per game. But Randle, he was dealing with his ankle injury, and he wasn't there at all, offensively, defensively. So for the Knicks this postseason, it really depends on Julius Randle how far they can go. Honestly, it really depends on him. Let's just take a look at the box score. I know I mentioned Deuce McBride. I mean, pretty much this entire live stream, I've been talking about him and how unexpected and amazing he's been this last stretch of games. But I do want to shout out a few other people. I mean, this entire team. Hartenstein, who played 19 minutes tonight, scored 15 points. He had 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. I mean, Hartenstein has just been another player who's been great these past 2 weeks. He's really been stepping up as well, and I think he looks pretty healthy. I know that he had been dealing with like a lingering injury from a long time ago, but he looks healthy now, and he's not on a minutes restriction anymore, but he did have to share the floor tonight with his center partner in crime, Mitchell Robinson, who played 12 minutes. And Jalen Brunson, I didn't mention him yet. I don't think I mentioned him that much yet, but he had a big game as well. 26 points, 11 for 19 from the field, and 2 for 6 from the three-point line. But this was a game where he only shot 2 free throws. This is insane. I mean, he's been having a lot of games recently where he only shoots like 2 to 4 free throws, and he doesn't get to the line that often. But to have 26 points and for two of those to only be free throws, that says a lot about Jalen Brunson and just how good of a player he is, how good of a shooter he is. I mean, 11 for 19, that's over 50%. He is a really great shooter, along with the 7 assists. Shout out the 7 assists. I don't know why, but in the beginning of the season, I mean, even from last season, a lot of people said he can't pass the ball. Straight up, people would say he can't pass the ball. He's not a point guard. Because last season, I believe he averaged like 5 assists per game. But this season, he's been passing the ball a lot better. And I have to check his averages, but we're seeing him grab like 6 assists per game, 7, 8. We've even seen him grab 9 and more. So he's definitely worked on that. But it also helps when you get shooters. It helps when you get shooters who actually make their shots. I mean, DiVincenzo, who ever since he's been inserted into that starting lineup has been on that wing for Brunson to pass to. And there's been more players on the team that he's been able to pass to and assist to, and actually get accounted for those assists when they make it. But Josh Hart tonight was in the starting lineup. He had 7 points, 10 assists, and 6 rebounds. So not exactly a triple-double, but pretty much very close to it with the 10 assists, 7 points, and 6 rebounds. I mean, Josh Hart is just, I know he didn't get the triple-double tonight, but I just want to call him Mr. Triple-Double because every night his stat line is just very, very similar to this. It's always above 5 assists. It's always above 5 rebounds and always above 5 points. I mean, he's just, I shout out to Knicks Morning Brew who have come up with this term that he is the glue guy. And I really feel like that's so true because everything that he does, the little things that he does, gets the team the wins that he gets our team wins with the little things that he does between the assists and the rebounds and the points. I mean, it's not usually a lot of points, but still, it's a decent amount. I love what I see from him every night. DiVincenzo, he had 16 points tonight. He was 5 for 12 from the 3-point line. He didn't break another record. He didn't break his own record tonight. He did have 11 the last game, but tonight he had 5. And I bet he was scared that McBride was going to break his. It was really funny. After McBride hit the 9-3, then the Raptors called timeout, and you could see Dante like laughing it up and just smiling at McBride, probably saying like, "Don't break my record," because that would have been a very short-lived record. Um, McBride didn't break it. He could have. I honestly think he could have. He had enough time to do it, but he ended up going to the bench. They put all the end of the bench guys in there between, Shake Milton, Jeffries. Let's see who else was in there. They had a lot of guys. A lot of like the last few minutes of the lineup, pretty much end of the bench guys. Let's see. Smart TV said Boyan coming around now. If he keeps this up, we can't be beat. Yeah, I really liked what I saw from Bogdanovic tonight. I mean, 18 points off the bench, 7 for 11 from the field, and 4 for 5 from the 3-point line. I would say this was one of his best games yet. He looked super comfortable out there shooting wise. I mean, he was just taking all the right shots, and 7 for 11 from the field. That's over 50%. 4 for 5 from the 3-point line. That as well is over 50. I like the shots that he took tonight. Nearly all of them went in. I mean, he only had 4 losses from the field and 1 loss from the 3-point line. So great game by him, and 18 points off the bench is always super helpful, when you're getting that many points off the bench. We actually got a lot of points off the bench. I mean, Bogdanovic had 18, but Precious Achiuwa, he had 19. So pretty unexpected. I mean, he's pretty much calmed down recently, the past few weeks, the past month. He's calmed down a little bit ever since he was reinserted to the bench. But 19 points off the bench for him is huge, along with 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. So this was pretty much his revenge game back home. Not back home, but his former team in Toronto. And if you guys saw that dunk at the end, that has to be up there for one, dunk of the year. It has to be up there as one of the options, because I wish I could play the replay right here, but that dunk was insane. Literally, and it was so they played it 4 times. They played it 4 times on the replay. My sister pointed it out. She's like, "Was it that good that they had to replay it 4 times?" I was like, "Yes, it was that good. It was valid that they did that." And it was funny because they said that they should take back his gift basket from the locker room after that dunk. It was nasty. Really nasty to do on your former team as well. Smart TV said Josh Hart is a beast of what he do. Don't show up on the stats. Exactly. A lot of nights, pretty much what he's doing, you won't really see it there. Similar to OG, his defensive presence, you can't necessarily see that on the stat line, and Josh Hart in a way as well. But most nights you can see what he's doing, because he's been grabbing a lot of triple doubles. So that's his stat line right there: the rebounds, the assists, the points. I think he has like 6 on the season now. 6. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I think the Knicks record is 8 on a season, and I believe that's held by Clyde. I remember them showing the graphic during the last game or something, and they showed Clyde had 8. I think he's up there though. If he grabs 2 more, he might tie it for the most triple doubles as a Knick in a season. That's insane. If we're just watching Knicks break records left and right. Let's see what else. So yeah, I mentioned Precious. Bogdanovic had a huge game. Let's see. Robinson, it was his first game back after missing, I believe, over 50. He was out a while. I mean, the start of the season, basically, we haven't seen him. And I was very surprised to hear that he was going to be playing tonight. They listed him as questionable in the beginning of the day, and then Woj came out with the tweet saying he's going to be back after being out so long. And it's crazy because I feel like during his progression or his rehab, we hadn't really been hearing that much updates. we're hearing about Randles, we're hearing about OGs. At least we heard a lot about OGs before he went back out. But still, I think that Mitchell Robinson's was kind of like low key, a little under the wraps type of thing, and it was a little unexpected. But yeah, he's back, and I think it's great that he's back. He has 10 games in the regular season to condition himself and to just get back into rhythm before the playoffs start. I think that's truly going to be that's a good amount. That's really a good amount for him. It's really funny. My dad said that like a few games ago, my dad said that Mitchell Robinson was going to be the first one back out of OG and Randle because he doesn't have to practice his shooting. So he doesn't take too many shots. But that's going to be wrong because even Robinson said it himself that he has some stuff that he thinks he can show, and he thinks he can show it coming off the bench. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, his first game back, he had 8 points, which definitely is something. It definitely is something because most nights when Robinson was playing earlier in the season, he's not really a scoring center. He won't get you 10 plus points a game, but tonight he had 8, so you never know. Nate said, if the Knicks make the finals, who would you want to play against? Who would I want to play against? Well, honestly, I think that the Denver Nuggets are going to be making the finals again. I definitely think they're going to get to that point. And I know that they beat us recently. It was a close game, though. And I think I'd be crazy for saying that I think we have a chance against them. But I think we do have like a slim chance against them. They're the defending champs, and they have a MVP, Joker. They have a lot of weapons on their team. We were undersized in that game, but I do think we would have a chance against them in the finals. I'm just too confident in this Knicks team. I'm too confident in a healthy Knicks team. Smart TV said Precious dunk was not for having OG video highlights of him as well. No welcome party for me like OG. Okay. He didn't get his own tribute video, or was that's crazy. That's crazy if he didn't, because I mean he was only there a few years, but still I'd expect them to do that. BKE themselves said the Hornets beating the Cavs is the real miracle. I really wish I got to watch that game just because it's fun watching the Cavs lose. I enjoy it, especially against the Hornets. I mean, the Cavs are so unserious. The Hornets, out of all teams, I think that they're falling off a little bit. I'm a salty Knicks fan, and I'm just gonna say, we just took their seat, so I'm gonna say that like they're falling off, and they went through their prime, which was like when they went on that long winning streak and no one could beat them. But I think now they're gonna go through some issues. And when everyone went down on that team between like Garland and who was it, Mobley, a few of their guys went down. It was D Mitch who was leading their team to wins. I think that now that everyone's back, it's causing little problems. I don't know. I didn't watch the game tonight, but they have been losing a few games, and hopefully they just continue to. I'm praying on their downfall. Honestly, I'm praying on their downfall. They were a fake third seed, and if obviously we wouldn't match up in the playoffs with them the first round again. But if we do somehow meet up with them, it'd be the same case as last year. Same exact story, if not better, because we have more weapons this year. BKE said Precious got a tribute video. Oh, I missed it. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention, but I would assume that he did get one. It would be weird to do only OG and not him. Kev said Monty Williams garbage. Yeah, I saw the comments that he said about the Knicks the other night after DiVincenzo broke the record. Not classy at all. Really, really not classy. I mean, way to take the high road, saying he doesn't care about the Knicks, he doesn't care, and he doesn't want to be a part of that our story the way that the Knicks got those threes. I really don't know what he means by that because the Knicks won fair and square, and DiVincenzo got those three fair and square. Like you're not gonna congratulate a guy after he hit 11 threes on your team and broke a Knicks record. I mean, even Evan Fournier congratulated Dante and gave him all his respect. But Monty, on the other hand, was acting like a salty player out there. He's fed up. He's tired of losing. He's taking it out on the Knicks now. I don't think the way DiVincenzo was shooting threes and getting those 3-pointers was unfair. The Knicks starters were in that game in late in the fourth. They were in there late in the fourth. They were trying to feed DiVincenzo like every play, but I mean, why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't they want him to break the record? He still made those threes. I mean, they even took away a three. They took away 1 3. So I don't know what Monty Williams is on about. If he's saying it was unfair what the Knicks were doing down the stretch, I really don't get it. Kev said, any crybaby Nets fans asking to be a part of this Knicks party? That's crazy. I don't know. I don't know if any Nets fans have converted to Knicks fans yet. I haven't seen any, but after the way we completely run this city and run New York, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if people from Brooklyn are finally converting to New York Knicks fans. I don't know. Let's see. I'll read a few more comments here. Kev said, Monty Williams don't like us shooting threes. What a big crybaby. Yeah, I honestly would expect those type of comments from a player. We've seen a lot of players this season say some crazy stuff. And it was unexpected from a coach. Very unexpected from especially Monty Williams, who I believe was a former Knick and who was supposed to be like a respectable, well-informed coach who just went off. I don't get it, really. Oh, hold on. Let's see.
Well, you added my audio.
But how do I put him in the screen?
How do you add me? How do I show up?
I think I have to change the layout.
You hear me, Mil? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, almost. I'm going to do this one. Let's see.
Yep.
Okay, nice. That's better.
I'm at work right now. I have no microphone. I have no good camera.
Your camera's decent. It's good.
My teeth look super white, though. I should use this 2016 computer camera more often, I guess.
Yeah, your teeth look really white.
Ben, I'm not accepting your apology, man. I don't know why you're asking. Mill, we're the 3 seed. This is unbelievable. This is insane.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, putting up nearly 150.
Charlotte Hornets with Brandon Miller going off for 31 points, and Miles shouldn't be in the league, did worse than Gambling Bridges doing. I mean, he was a borderline all-star before he beat his baby mama, so it is what it is. But, like, they beat the Cavs. Like, the Cavs had a home-and-home with, like, the worst team. One of the worst teams, and they couldn't even pull it off. They had Max Strus come back. Oh, God, this is beautiful. Karis LeVert, who's my favorite Cavalier, terrible game, went 2 for 9. Only 4 points. Like, come on now.
Wait, were the Cavs missing any big players like Donovan Mitchell?
They still don't have Mitchell.
Oh yeah.
He's supposed to be back next week.
Yeah.
But okay, Darius Garland, allegedly former All-Star, is supposed to make them win games. Am I wrong? They have Darius Garland, Jared Allen, and Evan Mobley. Isn't that supposed to be enough? Oh, no, it's not. We know it's not enough. You know why? Because we destroyed their asses last year in the postseason. And this dude, Hoodie Garland on Twitter, who has a giant following, the only Cavs Giants fan I see on there, is all that's wrong with society. This dude has 3,500 followers, and it's just Oh God, it
I
hurts.
try not to pay attention to his page too much.
But you know who I'm talking about, which
Yeah.
is the worst part.
That's crazy. I saw someone compare Deuce to Garland tonight, and they're pretty much just saying Deuce has been playing better than Garland, 100%.
And Deuce is not getting a max contract or anywhere near it anytime soon. So that's
It blows my mind what we're paying Deuce, in the upcoming years.
yeah, it's awesome. It's so cool. I mean, it's not cool for him. I
Yeah.
hope he gets a lot of endorsement money, a lot of New York City, like Times Square money, stuff like that, because he deserves it. We have 329 watching right now, 319 on X and 11 on YouTube. If a bunch of people can come over to YouTube, hit the like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out all of our awesome merch, bignickenergy.com. We have a bunch of cool things. We're bringing all of our Mitchell Robinson merch back. The Blockness Monster's coming back. And we are finally, after all of this time and me begging and pleading Vin over and over again, we are making Deuce McBride t-shirts, baby. The Deuce will be loose for the playoffs, and I'm going to be wearing it all day long.
Whoa. Wait, was there never Deuce McBride merch?
We have not made any Deuce McBride merch yet. This is his first year really in the rotation.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Wow. I know you're going to be like the first one to have it on you and rep it.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Oh God, 29 points, 9 of 14 from deep. He was 6 of 8 in the first quarter. I wanted him to go for the record, but they were already up like 24 at halftime, and it was never going to happen.
I think he could have broke it. I mean, he hit the ninth one like with a few minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, but then the Tibbs took the starters out, and that was it. But I think he could have broke it if he really wanted to, but that would have been such a short-lived record.
Only 39 minutes.
Yeah, and Dante would have been mad at him. Have his record for what? Only 2 days?
Had the record for 0 games. Didn't even have it for one full game. That would have been really funny.
It would have, but to see him come that close is insane. Like I was saying it before you got on here, just saying how unexpected what Deuce is doing. Like I really didn't think that this season we'd be seeing Deuce like from the beginning of the season when we still had him as our third string, with Quickly as our backup, and we still had Grimes and all those guys. I just didn't think at this point Deuce would be the one putting up nearly 30 points a game and stepping up the way he's been doing.
I don't think any of us expected it at the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you thought at some point, like the writing, like we said before, the writing was on the wall, like Quickly didn't sign the extension. He was going to get dealt. He was never going to get the part here he wanted as a starter, hoping to get 35, 40 minutes a game. Or maybe he would have at this point with all these injuries, because now Deuce McBride is getting 35 to 40 minutes a game. So how funny and ironic is that? But realistically, with all the guys they had, it wasn't going to happen, and he's going to get 25 million somewhere. So now we actually do have this guy playing backup 2, 3, and the other thing, if I am Emmanuel Quickly and I'm watching this team from afar, Brian, I totally agree. We should have Deuce merch. We should have had Deuce merch. I'm not the graphic designer. I'm not the t-shirt guy, or else I think would have only had Deuce and Jalen Brunson merch. I don't think I would have ever even had them make Julius Randle or RJ Barrett merch. I would have just said no. If you're over 6'4", you can't have shirts made, in my opinion, personally.
What? Why?
I'm joking. I'm saying there's a short guy, Bill.
All right.
I'm not being serious. Besides, I love Mitch and Ihart. Of course, I would still buy their t-shirts.
Yeah.
No, but if you're Emmanuel Quickly specifically, like you're looking across and you're like, they're starting Josh Hart at their power forward, and I wanted to play the starting shooting guard the whole damn time. And they went from Quentin Grimes to Dante DiVincenzo when I was still on the team, and I still couldn't start. And now they're starting Deuce McBride. And if I'm Emmanuel Quickly, I'm like, there's no way I think that Deuce McBride is that leaps and bounds better at being a guard, a defending off guard than I was, that I couldn't start next to Jalen Brunson. And now he has to witness it from the bench, watching the team he's now on lose by 44 points. That's rough.
Very rough. Man, I mean, it's still crazy seeing IQ and RJ just there, like not on our Knicks bench. I know they didn't play, but they're just sitting there on the Raptors bench, and it's still weird to see that, but their team's going through rebuilding. hopefully
They're trying
they.
to tank to keep their draft pick because if it's 6 or better, they keep it. If it's 7th or worse, they lose it. So
And what are they at in the standings right now? Like, I
they
don't even
have
know,
the
like
6th
10th?
worst record.
Oh, okay.
So they're trying. I mean, it's all about the thing is it's lottery. It's not like the NFL or MLB where
Yeah.
you're guaranteed. So they're trying.
Yeah. I mean, yo, what about Bogdanovich tonight? I think this is like, I would say this was his best game. Just very, very efficient.
This game was like, tell me when you watched the first half, you were like, is this what it's like to be a Pacers fan? Like, you just score 80, you give up 60, which is
Yeah,
usually
we had 80 by
terrible,
the
but you
first
score
half. I
80.
forgot that.
Yeah, like they're up 80 to 59, and it's Bogdanovich is out there for a little bit, and he's like just making shots and being terrible at defense. He's like, it doesn't matter, we're up 20, I get to do what I want. Like he just
I
felt like he
Yeah.
looked like he was more in the zone because he didn't have to worry about being a terrible defender because they all like Miles McBride got burnt 4 times from Gary Trent Jr. and Freeman Liberty, and it didn't matter. They were just up 20
We
already.
were just up 20, so like we kept going up, they kept going up, but we were up by so much, it didn't matter. They
It
couldn't
was
catch up.
so funny, so fun. I'm literally like, so this is what the Pacers fandom goes through probably every night. I don't like it.
Yeah. This was one of my favorite games, and it's crazy to say that because it wasn't competitive at all, but I loved watching the Knicks score so many 3-pointers, like 22 overall for the game. I loved seeing all of those go down.
It was amazing. I was really hoping like I was trying to go through the Knicks like roster and see all the last names, and I was like, who do I want Grady Dick to do a jersey swap with? And it would have been
Charlie Brown
McBride.
Jr.
What?
Charlie Brown Jr.
Oh,
Is he
Brown
on the
Dick.
bench right now?
He's not on the bench. He's a 2-way right now. He's actually not even there.
All right,
So
so
Brown Dick and Toppin Dick wasn't available. So my next thing was McBride. A Bride Dick? I don't know.
I was someone said Hart,
Hard Dick? I guess.
but we don't have like too many clever names on the Knicks, but no one did a swap with him. He's not gonna swap.
I guess it would be McBride or Hart out of the ones that were actually available.
Yeah.
Usually it would be Brown or Toppin, but they both were in the G League.
I'm looking at the end of the bench guys that got playing time.
Frankenstein Dick, it could have been like Frankenstein, and then be Halloween. That'd have been dope.
True. True.
It is what it is, though. Maybe better luck next time. This is the first time we swept the Raptors in a 3 or 4 game series in like 2 decades.
Yeah, 4-0 this season. I remember last season there was that game where Pascal Siakam had 57 points, something like that.
Garden, yeah.
Yeah, and that ruined our game. So
Mid-range
obviously
assassin.
that game is just so memorable to me, and it made me like hate him as a player because he was so cocky and just got on my nerves.
He has too nice of a smile. That's what it is. Like he makes the shot and then he just smiles and you're like, your teeth are perfect. I hate you.
They're so white.
They're just so like lined up. I'm like, my bottom teeth are so messed up.
Yeah,
and
for
you're
real.
just 6'8" draining mid range in the Garden. Get out of here.
Yeah, I hate when players come in the Garden and do it. Like, okay, it's one thing to do it on their own home court, but at the Garden and they just silence the crowd, it hurts.
It does. It does. Mel, I'm always a fan of yours. I always appreciate that you do this, whether we even talk or not. I feel like just sometimes you just randomly go on and I'm like, you haven't talked to me, Vin, or Ange in like 4 or 5 days, and I'm like, just chug along, just make the content. You're crushing it.
I appreciate you. Yeah, I don't know. Some days go by and I'm just like going through my daily routine every day, and some days I don't make content at all, but post games like this, I have to be here. I have to.
I love that you feel that way. You don't have to, but the fact that you feel like you have to is just you're a great, like, that's great working mindset. I love that. I feel the same way. Like I literally feel guilty if I don't do something, and this is in essence volunteer free. I just feel guilty if I don't try to do something to help it. Like I made a thumbnail before I came on here. I tried to like fix all the YouTube settings, and then I was like, she's still going. I'm just gonna jump on. Like, if I get yelled at, I fucking get yelled at. It is what it is,
There's no one there in that room with you?
I work by myself. So
That's
the way
cool.
this, so sometimes I'm in other rooms that are like, so I'm in the WWE room right now. So literally, this is I get paid to make sure
Wow.
this works on its own. That's the whole job is make sure it doesn't turn off, which you don't do anything.
That's, that sounds actually like a great job.
It's mind-numbingly boring.
Boring, but like, I mean, like you're doing your own thing right now.
I am. I am doing my own thing right now. I do have to be here till 6 a.m. though, so that's definitely the worst part.
Oh yeah, that's very early.
How when and why did Ben come back here? Why
I
is
have
this
no idea.
why is
I
this a
have
thing
no
again?
idea.
I don't.
And of course, he's flooding my comments.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, we could block him at any point, which is always the funniest thing. He's like, please forgive me. Also, you guys suck. Also, you're immature. Also, you got like
Also,
the
you're
Knicks
acting like
suck.
a child.
Yeah. Also, the Knicks suck. Also, like you're
No,
gonna lose to the
like
Pacers and the Magic
I
and the
would be,
Cavs and the Heat.
I'd be fine with Ben staying in here, but every one of his comments are like negative in some way against us. They're
He's a
just
20-year-old trolling net fan.
yeah. Like if he was positive to us sometimes, okay. That's pretty much like I hate to like put you on blast here, Ben, but that's pretty much why I blocked you from my Twitter is that I would just tweet my usual tweets. His comments would be so like witty and like negative, just like I'm tired of it.
That's a very 20-year-old thing for you to do, Ben, is to clarify that you're 19. Well, I'm turning 33 this year. It's the same thing to me. You could be 12. I don't care.
Anyways, whatever.
Mill,
Moving
we
on
play
from
the
Ben.
Spurs in San Antonio on Friday. Are we
Yeah.
winning that game by 30 plus 2?
Yes, we are. We definitely are.
Now that Mitch Robinson's actually back, how excited are you to see some Mitch versus Wemby action?
I want it. I really, really want it because that first matchup very early on in the season, like he held Wemby to I don't know how many points he had that game, but he held him down very, very, really well and
He like didn't
defended
score in
him
the
good.
first half.
Yeah, yeah. It was not looking too good for him. He pretty much got like a lot of points late in the game, so
I found the line. He had 14 points, but he went 4 or 14 from the field.
yeah, I want to see that.
9 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, and only 1 block. And knowing who Wemby is now and how many blocks he gets a game, 1 block in a game for Wemby is a bad game.
Yeah, but that was so early on. What month was that? November?
November, yeah.
So, so much time has passed. He's really developed this season already and he's grown.
100%. I mean, he's already gonna potentially make an All NBA team, which is incredible and a testament to his growth and maturity as a player from one year to another. This dude does between the leg behind the back 35 footers and he's 7'5". Like the league is cooked in 2029. It's all over. It's gonna go from
It's scary.
like Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, SGA, Luka Doncic. I'm sorry, man. It's going from Jokic to Wemby, and that's it. That's the thing.
It's super scary. That's why I was scared to face him back in November, but the way we actually were able to contain him, it made me so proud of that game.
Bill, I know you're around this age, so this is no offense to you, but saying the guy is 7'4", 7'5", and clarifying it's 7'3.5" is the same as saying you're 19 or 20. It's all the same mindset, you know?
Those are the comments that I'm talking about. Like there's no need to put
That's how
that.
you get blocked.
There's no need. You pretty much like you don't need to clarify that.
Brian goes, he's 19, shows he has no idea what he's talking about. For any newer or new NBA fan, I'm gonna share some quick knowledge real quick. And it happened last year, and it happens almost every single year. Young new NBA teams, right? Like last year it was the Kings and the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers had Donovan Mitchell, but all their other best players like first time in the playoffs. The Kings, almost every single player on their team that was good, that was in the rotation, first time in the playoffs. This year, the Pacers and Magic, outside of Siakam, almost all of the players that are on both those teams that are important, it's going to be the first time in the playoffs. They're all going to lose in the first round. It just happens over and over again. Experience, playoff experience versus regular season experience, examples and stuff like that. It just consistently gets proven over time. You lose. It's not like you necessarily were worse than the team against you. Like a lot of people last year picked the Cavs over the Knicks. The Cavs had a better regular season. They looked better on paper. The thing is, Julius Randle went through his biggest playoff struggle against the Hawks. Jalen Brunson already had been the best or second best player in multiple series for the Dallas Mavericks. Mitchell Robinson didn't play in the Hawks series, but based on what his job is, it's not based on scoring or anything that you can really get rattled in. Hey, be a big man, grab rebounds. You don't have to worry about anything else. RJ Barrett actually played decent against the Hawks. It was already his second time in the playoffs. Derrick Rose was in the rotation last year. Never mind. My bad. Take back Derrick Rose. But you know what I mean? Like all the guys, it's like Donovan Mitchell was on the other side, but Darius Garland first time, Evan Mobley first time, Jared
Yeah.
Allen had like no real role when the one time he made it with the Nets and they got swept. Like, and then the Kings last year went up against the Warriors as the higher seed,
Yeah.
expecting having a better home record. Like the Warriors were the worst road record to make the playoffs in like a decade. Like it was just if you're just a young team, like you just aren't ready to do anything to go up against it. So it is what it is. And like I like outside of OKC, who SGA actually had playoff experience his rookie year, who played with Paul George, played with Chris Paul in OKC when they made it, and they're going to be going up against a really crappy team. It is like I'm just out like I don't know. The Pacers and Magic, like they're gonna get punked. The only chance one of them has of winning a series is that they're gonna play each other. Like if they play each other in the 4-5, or if the Magic get to the 3rd seed and the Pacers are the 6th seed, they play each other in 3-6. One of them will win. Other than that, they're both taking L's, and it's not because they have bad teams. It's not. It's because it's Tyrese Halliburton's first time in the playoffs. It's Andrew Nembhard's first time in the playoffs. Pascal Siakam won a title years ago and has playoff experience. Miles Turner made won playoffs like 6-7 years ago now, his like first year as a Pacer, back when Paul George was still on the team. Like it's all about Halliburton basically, and he's just gonna have an experience that he's never used to. The Magic, Paolo Banchero, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Jonathan Isaac, like all Cole Anthony, all of these dudes, literally outside of Joe Ingles, have never been in the playoffs before. So they go up against the Cavs or the Knicks or the Heat or the Bucks. I'm expecting them both to lose. And that's no offense to them. They're just young, and playoffs and regular season are so entirely different. And if you don't think that, just ask Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler how different the playoffs are than the regular season. Because one means everything. Ask Julius Randle and what his reputation is. One means everything. The one that has way less games and seems like if you looked at it on paper from afar, these 5 to 10 games shouldn't matter as much as these 82, but they matter 10 times more. And it's a whole different sport. I'm actually glad the NBA has done this thing where they've started calling it more intensely and like harder on the defense, harder on the offense, easier on the defense in the past month, because they've actually been able to prepare teams more so to get used to playoff games and playoff success. But it's only like 70% there. They still have no clue what they're really doing. And they're going to, Magic and Indy, you're both in for a rude awakening this year. I'm sorry you're going to run into it. I hope you play each other. That's basically it. Otherwise, you're both taking L's.
Yeah, I agree pretty much what you said just there. I mean, we saw firsthand how young teams can think they're prepared for the playoffs, play really, really well in the regular season, especially the Kings last season. And then they could just not be as prepared because they don't have the experience. They don't have players with the experience. And as you said, Indiana is one of those teams this year, the Magic. And that's one reason I'm really glad that our team has some experience. I mean, from last year, we have Jalen Brunson, who has had experience even before he was a Knick. Obviously, Julius Randle for a few years now. He hasn't, I mean, he's a whole different story, but still, we have guys with the experience. We have Dante DiVincenzo, who is a NBA champion. So I'm really glad we have a lot of guys who are experienced.
Granted,
And
Dante didn't play in the finals because he got hurt, but he was still there.
yeah, he has the mentality.
So was Diakite. He was on the same team. I found out tonight. I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. I believe I heard that too. But a lot of, I don't know if you've been seeing it, a lot of like the Knicks Twitter timeline was in shambles a little bit recently because I think someone said in a space like they're scared of Orlando in the playoffs or something like that. And, you know, you just said it. Like, I don't think we should be too scared. This is a team who doesn't have playoff experience and who's very young. I know they won against us, 3 times in the regular season, but the playoffs are a whole different story. And will they show up? We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, now I really think the Knicks and the Magic are both going to pass the Cavs. Like, I actually think at this point, because the Cavs are running into a harder part of their schedule finally, and Mitchell still is going to miss the next 3 to 4
Yeah,
games,
finally.
supposedly. They went, what did they go? Like 18-1 without Mitchell and Allen at one point, or Mitchell and Mobley at one point. No, it was Garland and Mobley at one point,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because they played like the Wizards
They
3 times,
played like the Wizards twice,
the
the
Spurs
Spurs,
twice. Yeah,
the
it was just
Nets.
unbelievable.
It was just crazy.
Yeah, and finally they're actually playing good teams, and they still have these injury problems, which we have injury problems too. I mean, I don't wish that on anyone, but
Yeah.
like I think the Knicks are going to end up in the 3-6 potentially with the Pacers, and the Magic and the Cavs are going to be the 4-5. And like whether we play, I would take the Knicks in 6 over the Pacers and the Knicks in 5 over the Magic, because I am a little more worried about the Pacers scoring and their crazy version of basketball than I am. Like the Magic might not score 95 points in any playoff game. They can't score the ball. I get they could win 95-90 or 85-80, but like it's just not happening with Markelle Fultz and Cole Anthony and Anthony Black as your point guards. I'm sorry. Like, it's just, you can't set up an offense that way. And Paolo Banchero he's great. He's 21. Franz Wagner's 22. They're just not ready for this moment to, like, actually have to be the Kevin Durant and Devin Booker of their teams. It's just, like, it is what, I don't know.
Yeah. So, wait, you said you would rather play them instead of Indiana?
I expect the Knicks to win either way. I think the Pacers would take 2 games from us and Orlando would take 1 game from us, but I'm not worried regardless. I truly want the Heat. I actually want the Heat. Like, I want to be the man, you got to beat the man. To be the best, you got to beat the best.
That's conflicted.
I want the Heat. I want the Bucks. I want the Celtics in that order. I expect us to lose to the Celtics, but Mill, I've been telling you since we got OG, if we're healthy, we're beating everyone that's not Boston in the East. And I firmly believe that. Like, and even Boston has their faults, obviously. Like, I think the Celtics would win in 7 games, but I think it's going 7. And once you get to that 7th game, I mean, granted, it would be in Boston, but you don't know what's happening. The thing about it being in Boston is that I know a lot of New Yorkers are making that trek up there. I know Boston is one of the best home courts that compete with the Knicks, that compete with Golden State, that compete with the Lakers when they're at it. Like, but New York and Boston aren't that far away. It's not a train ride. It's an Amtrak. Like, we're getting up there. And it'd be a hell of a series. I'm not.
I think it'd be scary to be up there as a Knicks fan because you just said it. Their fan bases are one of the most passionate in the NBA. So I'd be scared to wear like my Knicks jersey proudly there. So I don't know if I'd be traveling there, but if anyone else does, that's dope.
I live in North Haven. I mean, I would be making the trip. I'm actually almost equidistant from Boston as I am to New York. So.
Oh wow. Go represent New York.
Alonzo, thank you, man. Appreciate it. We try to share passion over here. That's all that really matters. Bill, any closing thoughts before we beat San Antonio by 25 on Friday?
Let's get the 2nd seed. You want to get the 2nd seed or you want to stay at 3rd?
I don't care. I want the Heat. So
it doesn't matter to you what seed we are, even if we're like 1st, but you just want the Heat.
2, 3, give me the Heat. That's it.
Got you. I think that with 10 games left to go, and it still blows my mind that there's only 10 games left to go. Like, what? This season went by so fast. But
yeah,
it's like
fast and slow all at the same time.
Yeah, I just feel like we got cheated a little bit, like with how many injuries we've had. We just haven't seen a lot of like real Knicks basketball with Randle, with OG. That's why it feels quick.
We're 13-2 in those 15 games. The 3 of them played together, though.
What a time. What a time.
January was a hell of a month.
Insane, really. I mean, that was history right there. That was history since, 1994, they said? That was the most wins we had in a month?
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of records were saying this year. Most wins in a month.
Right? I was just thinking that. And I wonder if Josh Hart will be able to set the Knicks triple-double record in a season. I think Clyde has 8 as a Knick, and he's at like 6 now. Yeah, he might tie it. To get 3 in the next 10, I mean, he almost had one tonight. He had 10 assists, I think 7 points, 6 points, something like that.
6 rebounds, 7 points.
And then how many assists did he have? Oh no, he had 10 assists. Oh, what's the rebounds?
7 or 6. It was 7 and 6 points and rebounds one way or the other.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what was 7,
So
what was 6.
yeah, I think you're right. He might tie it.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get to 8. I don't think he's gonna get to 9.
It'd be crazy though, like to have for Clyde thinking out of all the people who break his record, it's Josh Hart. I mean, like not anything to Josh Hart, but we've had a lot of great players come and go since Clyde, and it would be Josh Hart of all the people that we've had since then to break it.
What was the question tonight that they had? It was like Brunson had the most 30-point games or whatever, and there was like 4 others. It was Melo, Ewing,
Oh, I
uh,
missed the question.
King, and Brunson was the 5th out of these 4 guys. It was Melo, Ewing, King, and Bob McAdoo, and I was just like, I can't believe it was Bob McAdoo and not Richie Guerin. And it's like, for us to only have like so many great players in this team's one of the original 6 NBA teams is just Jesus. Ben, by the
Yeah.
way, I see you in the comments asking why I'm a New York fan from Connecticut. I'm born and raised in New York, man. I'm not from Connecticut. And if you're in Connecticut, half of Connecticut is New York fans, half of them are Boston fans.
What's the other half?
Half New York, half Boston. It just depends on how
Oh,
it's
okay.
basically like New Haven, the
Yeah.
city is like directly in between, and then it's like if you're northeast of New Haven, you cheer for Boston. If you're southwest of New Haven, you cheer for New York.
Got it.
But I'm from New York.
I like Connecticut.
It's a state.
It's a state. It's your home state now.
It exists. I own a house and I love my fiance. That's basically where we're at.
That's a flex.
Yeah. Well,
You're flexing on Ben right now. I own a house.
Oh God. Oh my God. All right, Mill. If you want to stay on, that's up to you. I'm gonna go because
I'm gonna close up. It's been like over an hour now.
Let's go, Knicks. Let's take out Wemby. Let's keep beating all these crappy teams by 25 plus. And give me Miami, baby. I don't care. 2 or 3. I don't want to be the 4 or 5. Just clarification. I want to avoid Boston as long as possible, but give me Miami. I want to eat. I hate Miami fans more than any other fan base. They don't even show up to their games. They just show up in your mentions. It's the worst.
Oh yeah. They show up in my DMs. But anyways, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check out the merch shop if you haven't already. I mean, you said it. Who's Deuce McBride merch is coming soon. Stay tuned for that, guys.
Deuce McBride merch is coming soon. Mitch Robinson merch is coming back. Let's go Knicks. Let's eat some W's.
Peace, guys.